Romantic love is not going to save you from the shitty life that you're living. I know that our entire lives, we've been told that selflessness is the most virtuous thing a good person can do. But let me be the one to tell you this. Selfishness is also one of them. Please, 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 choose you. Our entire life, growing up, we've been taught that our life is equated to some sort of love story. That life only gets better when romantic love is involved. And we see it in the media, we see it in the books. For example, the princesses that we grew up watching. The story arc always involved a damsel in distress. And her life only got better, or she was only able to get herself out of the predicament that she was in once a knight in shining armor came about. A Prince Charming, a first love's kiss. A true love's kiss, sorry. But you get what I'm saying. It sort of implies that your life and some sort of freedom to some extent can only get better, can only be achieved once you have romantic love in your life, which is absolutely not true. We are so much more than romantic love. I think a lot of coming of age stories and coming of age media that we're fed is the whole premise of them is that people feel like they're missing out. They've not had their first kiss, they've not had like first date with a boy or a girl, or I don't know, it's always something about they feel like they're missing out, which is relatable to some extent, but also it pushes this narrative that because you feel like you're missing out, you have to chase whatever that you're seeking. And I was also a victim of this, don't get me wrong. But the problem with that is that they find themselves in situations where they're only going to get hurt. At the end of the day, we are humans, and love is a very, very strong emotion and a very strong driving force in our lives. I am not denying that. I'm just saying that you have to go about it in a very careful way. Even though that the whole premise of romantic love is that it hits you in the face when you're not knowing, you can't just jump into it and expect that everything will just be all rainbows and sunshines. It's not like that. The whole thing about romantic love being so addicting is that it has very high highs and very, very low lows. And that up and down is what makes the whole process satisfactory. When you wake up in the morning and you brush your teeth in front of a mirror, the person that you see in the reflection, is it someone that you're satisfied with? Are you satisfied with your life currently? Are you satisfied with how your mental health is? Are you satisfied with how you define yourself? Do you feel that you are comfortable in your own body? If you are none of those things, I think it's safe to say that you should take a step back from romantic relationships and, I don't know, read a book, journal, meditate. Do something to uplift yourself before you start seeking for others to uplift you. And, it's a common phrase to say that hurt people hurt. You cannot expect that two people who do not love themselves enter a relationship to love one another, and that won't end in catastrophe. I'm just saying. And we often say like you are what you attract. There's a certain frequency that you're tolerating and that you're operating as, that you can allow such energies to enter into your life. It's the reason why each relationship that you're in, you're either being cheated on, or you're being lied to, or you're just not being respected in general. Because do you respect yourself in the first place? You need to choose yourself. You need to love yourself. And I am not the one to define how you're going to do that. I think that is something that you need to really sit down and think of. And it's not like a one-day process where you sit down and you finally have the answer. This is how I'm going to love myself. No, it's a process. You really need to think. It takes a couple of days. For some people, it takes years. For some people, it takes months. For some people, it takes weeks. It all depends on you. Once you do start loving yourself, you're going to realize there's a lot of unnecessary definitions of romantic love that have been fed to us time and time and again by, let's say, the media or people in just different scenarios from us. And they're defining what love is to them, but what is love to you? I feel like the moment you grow up, you start questioning what is love, because you've experienced so many different experiences that you don't even know how to define love itself, even though love is all around you. Love is with your friends, love is with your family. If you start looking for a very objective I think that's the word to use, an objective definition of romantic love, then you are just stunting yourself. You're not allowing yourself to even receive the love that you so-called desire, because you're going to be looking for that same exact love that you've been fed for. That love is receiving gifts. Love is being taken out to a fancy hotel. Love is this, love is that. When love describes and shows itself in like various scenarios. Life is not a linear path. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. There's going to be people who are going to come into your life to hurt you. There are going to be people who will uplift you. But in some sense, you can sort of control the narrative because it is your narrative. The moment you love yourself, there's a certain level of frequency that you're operating at in which you're not going to allow certain energies into your life. Just like a simple 1 + 1 = 2 case. If you love yourself, you will receive an amazing experience in romantic love. I'm not the best with words, but I feel like there's a young girl or even like someone older than me or someone my age who needs to hear this, because you never know. If this is finding you, it's finding you at the right time and at the right place and for the right reason, because everything happens for a reason.